Great entrepreneurs are problem solvers, and to solve problems, they keep building. My name is Emeka Eze, and this is DABA TV. You're watching the Business Leader of the Week. This is a special edition on the Business Leader of the Week because with me on this edition is an entrepreneur, the CEO of Digital Abundance, Chris Ani. Chris Ani is an insightful teacher, an author, an entrepreneur, a startup advisor, a crypto trader, and investor. One who is passionate about helping people create wealth, achieve success, and it is this same passion that birthed DABA School, which is the first African education platform for digital and high income skill learning with students in over 15 nations. And Chris Ani in 2017 pioneered Crypto Hub, the club, the first platform in Nigeria for Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency education, which receives monthly web visitors from over 40 nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ani is the 2020 recipient of the Binance Influencer Award for Africa and the Middle East. He is our guest, one of great personality today on the Business Leader of the Week. And of course, we are hosting Chris Ani from DABA Studios, and he's going to be joining us from the UAE, Dubai. Chris Ani, it's nice to have you on the program. How are you, Chris?
Good to good to have you, Emeka. What a wonderful introduction. I was wondering, am I the one you guys are just introducing and hyping that way? But it's a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's nice to have you. How's the weather out there in Dubai? I hope you're feeling okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Dubai, as always, and it's a rush moment here in the UAE. Never seen the UAE so busy like this. That's because of the expo and all of the activities going on. I woke up in the morning. I woke up, and next thing I'm seeing, I'm currently it's like almost 9 o'clock here, and it's you can imagine.
Of course, it has to look that way. So, we're going to get more into this conversation, but we're going to go on a short break. And as soon as we get back, we're going to go through into the conversation for today. Stay with me, and we'll be right back.
Parents, listen to your children. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Does that sound familiar? Children these days are always on a device, either their phones, a laptop, a tablet, or the computer. Shouldn't that tell you that something is happening? Let me ask you a question. As a parent, would you rather your child become a competitor or a creator? Think about it. I know that as parents, we've been saddled with the responsibility on making sure that our children are equipped for the future. Well, here is an opportunity for you to position them for such a future, not just academically, but also on their skill set. If you're a parent, DABA Kids was created for you. DABA Kids is an online education platform that uses animation, game-style learning, and the internet to teach children within the age of 4 to 16 how to use and leverage the skills of the future. We focus on areas such as art, finance, technology, and leadership. Would you like to see your child become the next Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, creating things like Tesla, Facebook, or their own companies? Well, now is the time to take such opportunity. Join us in a live Zoom call for parents only in the month of March, as we'll be showing you how you can position these children for the future. Remember that the future starts now. Click on the link below to register, or you can visit our website at www.dabakids.com or follow us on our social media channels at DABA Kids. Keep being an awesome and a super parent.
You're welcome back from that short break. Before I went on the short break, I introduced my guest, Chris Ani, and he's speaking to us from the UAE, Dubai. And of course, the conversation for today will revolve around what Chris Ani has always loved doing, building and, of course, educating people. We're looking at the need to improve the educational curriculum in a highly tech-driven world. So, Chris Arnie, while I was introducing you, I talked about your passion about building and making things happen. And recently, there is this news around town about Chris Arnie bringing up a new product or a new brand or another educational platform called DABA Kids. So we want to know, what is DABA Kids, Chris Arnie?
Okay, I have seen the current state of education in Africa and even globally. And as builders, our job is to actually provide solution instead of complaining. So, Double Kids is an online technology platform that uses Web3, animation, the metaverse, video game style mode of teaching, okay, to equip kids and teenagers with skills of the future. That's what we do at Double Kids.
Oh, beautiful. That's a lot. That's like a lot of 21st century tech into helping kids
Yes.
learn. Now that's big because we're looking at not just a project that somebody sleeps and wake up and start building. There must be an inspiration behind it. You want to tell us what inspired you to build a platform like Daba Kids?
Okay, so I could remember years back, a lot of years ago, I think while I was growing up as a child, I used to watch a particular TV station called AITs, the most popular back then.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, on a normal day, I was watching either a South African school teach chemistry on TV.
Hmm.
I can literally tell you I can't remember so many things I was taught in school, but I could remember that scene and that picture, that video has stuck with me for years. I can't forget. I know that it was something on science, and they were teaching. Again, I'm somebody who was inspired early enough in life. My late father of blessed memory, Mr. Oyekachiani, I can remember back then in his computer training center where he was the manager, Saniluba Computer Training Center in Ikeja,
Yeah.
at Deni Ijers. My dad would take me, before I was 8, he used to take me to his classes where he used to teach management information system, information technology. Even as a child, I think I was even 2 or 3, he used to take me for lectures. But the time I started handling a computer was, I think, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. Okay, before France 98, I started handling a computer. And my dad then would take me to the center. And with all his students, I will be learning what they call Lotus 1, 2, 3. I will also play a game called Pac-Man. I will operate Windows 95, Windows 97, and on like that. I was using MX Excel. I was using different applications on desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And then on, my next thing was uh, it got me one small palm top. It was he had a lot of them in his computer center, so it got me one of them. And I used to interact with computer. So I got exposed early enough in life to computer education. Okay. And from then on, I switched on. And I could remember when I was planning for writing my GCE, after GCE, next thing I was waiting for the entire whole thing to get admission to school. And my dad enrolled me at the age of 14. My dad enrolled me for programming. So I started between 14, 15, 16. I started learning programming, and I finally got admission to the university at the age of 16. And I discovered that learning programming, getting exposed to things like ICANN, getting exposed to things like coding early, a combination of both financials, accounting skill, and coding skill. These things inspired, this thing groomed me a lot, okay? It made me exposed before I even got admission to the university. So even when I got admission to the university, I could tell you that in my year one, I started buying shares as a year one student. I can remember I used
Interesting.
5,000 and I gave to one my friend Deji then, who was working in Lagos back then. He used to be my late father's student too, during when my dad used to lecture in all these ICANN programs and all that. And I got exposed to shares. Again, as a teenager, I had conversations about money. entrepreneurship with my late father. So my late father would tell me today, and not just that, we talk about science, we talk about Galileo, Isaac Newton. So those conversations around science, accounting, finance, entrepreneurship were things when I got to the university they were not teaching me. Hence, today, if I run a company called Digital Abundance Holdings with over 6 subsidiaries, and we're building what I want to build a large company like Warren Buffett. I want to build now. I can tell you that those inspiration for what I'm doing today came because of those conversations I've had with my late father, those conversations I've had with my dad. Those things inspired me. Those things I watch on TV about entrepreneurship, those coding skills I learned early increased my problem solving skill. Those things I learned about accounting and money before getting admission to university, they helped me a lot. They gave me a lot of exposure on time. Ability to operate a computer and use them, they increased my intelligence quotient over time. So these are the things inspiring me to build a platform that is away from the conventional systems of education we have, away from the normal schools we have. I did not learn entrepreneurship in university. I did not learn entrepreneurship in secondary school. I learned the basis of education, good academics in school. But these things that has made me win in life were things I learned outside the four walls of the school. Hence, at DABA Kids, we've identified a problem that the next Bill Gates, the next Richard Branson, will not learn these things in those secondary schools. They will not learn it in that primary school. They will learn it in a different educational cartel, citadel. And that's why, because the future is changing, we have decided to build what we call DABA Kids. And we're using things like animation. Let me even share another inspiring story with you. My late father used to teach in a company called Wise Associates. And one day, my father's company, I was in there. They call this place a restroom, like a dining where you when any lecturer when you're tired, rest, or you're waiting for a lecture, time, you can just come there. And there's a library by the side. And I remember one time I was watching DSTV while I was waiting for my father during on the Saturday, during the break time. I was just watching DSTV, and I watched the rise and rise. I was an undergraduate back then. The rise and rise of Google, the story of the lives of Saji Brain and Larry Page. And video I watched inspired me for entrepreneurship. There are many things I can say that has inspired me. And I noticed that these things are lacking in our four walls of schools. These things are lacking in our primary and our secondary school. Hence, we've created our platform that will help you teach your children, teach that 4-year-old child, teach that 7-year-old child, teach that guy that could become the next Chris Annie. How do you groom them? You have to start from small. You have to start and catch them young. And that's the inspiration that has bettered DABA Kids.
Wow, that's very deep. So we are right to say that this is an inspiration you got from a burning desire to help people, which has actually been there from since when you were a child. Is that correct, Chrisani?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Now it's clear. This weekend, 26th March 2022, is the day for the DABA Kids parents meeting. What should we, in anticipation, I'm talking now like a parent. If I'm a parent talking to you, what should I be expecting in that meeting on Saturday?
Okay. This is not a disrespect to any of my family member. This is even a big respect to my own late father first. And I'm going to say this. I am one of those, or I am the person who has done massively well in my entire generation of the Aniki on the clown. And that's because my dad laid a solid foundation. My blessed memory, my late father may not be here to ride the G wagons, to see the house, to even eat all the wealth. And that's why in DABA Kids we started this thing with simple notion. Generational wealth can start with your child. Yes. And so for me, generational wealth has started actually with me because of the kind of foundation my late father gave me. I'm grateful for that exposure. And that this Saturday, we want to compare something simple. Your child could be the one that would bring that NFT to the market, sell it for the first $1 million your family may have ever. Or even if they've seen more, it could be that child that would help you sustain for the future. So this Saturday, what are we bringing? I'm going to share passionate vision, the platforms of that, share with you why we're building DABA Kids. We're going to also unveil the team that are also working behind the scene, the management team for DABA Kids. Also share with you our launch date and the plans we have going forward. Okay, both the free call and when exactly are we planning to officially launch DABA Kids. I'm going to you as somebody who's body parents are. Every parent wants to see the best for their children, the best for their child. And here, this is the solution. We're not telling you to stop them from schooling in academics. We're not telling them to stop learning mathematics and science. It's very important. But we're going to tell you that, see, even your dullest child, the one you think is the dullest, by the time we unveil to you the plans we have with DABA Kids, and your child is part of DABA Kids, just because he's enrolling into something that is off the school, by the time he goes back to school, he becomes the best. You want to see a child who at the age of 14 already knows his life mission. You want to see a child who at the age of 8 can create content on YouTube and have 1 million views. You want to see a child that can create a simple robotics that can help you do certain tasks at home. You want to see a child that can build a simple application that the whole family can use to do budgeting. This is what we're coming with on Saturday. We'll unveil these things alongside with this super amazing thing. We have the best, and the director of curriculum is a PhD holder, studied in the US. We have our head of administration who has experience in community management, parents and kids, and we're bringing on world class. I say, I kid you not, world class. The rest of is kind from Nigeria, from Africa, and I kid you not, this is world class. It's not been seen. This is world class. So on Saturday, we'll be
Thank you very much, Chris Annie, for responding to that question in that manner. And of course, if I'm a parent, I'm already feeling the effect of what my kids are in for when DABA Kids is finally launched. This is an interesting project. I can testify to the quality of the team who's powering the effective launch of DABA Kids. Now, Chris Annie, from what we have discussed so far, what would you say the future of kids enrolled into DABA Kids would look like? Of course, you had touched it a little, mentioning that you are trying to build generational wealth. But can you give us clarity on that? What do you think the future of kids enrolled on DABA Kids would look like?
one of the key ways to become wealthy and become great is for you to be put for it. And position in a killer position, knowledge acquisition of that, and also the community, the serious network. I'm sure you know that the founders of Google met themselves and they came together to build the largest search engine in the world. I'm sure you all that there are over 4 or 5 people who came together in the dormitory at Harvard to build a company called Facebook. There's a favorite guy I like. After the guy is a Singaporean, he's from Singapore. I forgot his name. He used to be my interesting guy because I study entrepreneurs a lot, and he's among those who the Facebook. I think it cost $3 billion US when Facebook went public. I think it was I remember his name later. Now I mentioned it. And community, they co-founded the same school. They co-founded the same school. Now, what is this say to us? In DABA Kids, we are positioning the kids for wealth, and greatness. We will not just do that with knowledge. We will not just do that with the skills of the future. We will also do that with the community. You may not remember mathematics you were taught in GST. You may not even remember the GST 101, why you were in year 1. But I'm sure remember the best of friends you had, both the one that hurt you and the one that did well for you.
Definitely.
Why? DABA Kids is not just, it's not a teaching platform. It's not just an edited platform. It's a platform. It's a community on its own. Where meet your next investor. You can meet that child where 2 of you can come together at the age of 17. You're launching that company. Who knows? Maybe the two of you can together and form a political party that will change the course of leadership in any nation. Because DABA Kids isn't just for Nigeria, it's for Africa, it's for the world, it's for any continent where kids want to be positioned for wealth, influence, and greatness.
Thank you very much, Chris Arnie. You know, we parents, I mean, parents out there, I'm soon to be a parent myself. So, parents out there are privileged to have builders in the 21st century who are so passionate about changing lives and creating products like this. Oh, we can't wait for DABA Kids to actually launch. Well, we're going to go on a short break, and when we're back, we're going to talk to Chris Arnie about DABA School as an educational platform and what faculties it operates in. And then after this short break, we'll get answers to these questions as we continue our conversation with Chris Arnie. Stay with me. We'll be right back. You're welcome back from that short break. This is still DABA TV, and you're watching the Business Leader of the Week with Emeka Eze. My honored guest in the studio today is Chris Arnie, and we've been discussing DABA Kids and the future of kids who are exposed early into faculties like technology, arts, and of course, we're talking finance and leadership. And that takes me to the next question I'm going to ask Chris Arnie. So, Chris Arnie, DABA Kids is a school of its own with 4 different faculties, which I just mentioned now. We're talking technology, finance, leadership, and arts. My question to you now is, don't you think it is too much for kids from the age of 4 to get exposed to things like this?
Okay, so our entire curriculum covers technology, arts, leadership, okay, and culture. Is there any other thing I'm missing? Then finance.
Finance,
Okay,
yes.
finance, leadership, technology, arts, and culture.
Yeah.
If you know what is in the mind of a 5-year-old child, you will tell us to teach more.
I wish I do.
I'm telling you, I'm using the phone today, and a child with no experience, no lecture, handles this phone. They know where a game is. And that's why we're bringing things that will help them harness that brain. Can I tell you a secret? And I'm going to expose myself. I am not a perfect swimmer, but I can tell you a 3-year or 4-year child swims better than me. Because they are not even afraid. There was a viral video that went one time in how many floors, somewhere in China or so. 2 kids were on that pavement and they were crossing over, and adults were screaming. They had no fear inside. This is something that if they had run, they would come down like 30, 40 feet down. And they did not. Don't underestimate the power children have. Don't underestimate the ability they have. And that's why we want to catch them early and nurture them. It was so early, Mark and Co were building codes, were writing codes early. Don't underestimate what they can do. So it's not too much for them, and that's why we're using things that they like. The format of teaching will be through animation. If you think kids cannot learn it, I want to ask you, why is Baby Shark do with billions of... That should tell you something big. These kids are looking for what you need to feed them with. If you feed them with terrorism, they will go with it. If you feed them with morality, good leadership, you are raising a new generation that will change an entire nation. Do not underestimate the capacity these children have. So we want to get them early. I was in Dubai. I met an 8-year-old child who had millions of views on our YouTube channel. I met another child, two children who are being used for models. Yeah, they've worked in Lionel Messi and they've done amazing stuff here in Dubai. Do not underestimate these children. Do not underestimate them.
A lot. Of course, children are exposed to the level in their life where they are able to learn anything and very fast between the ages of 4 and 10, especially the age of 5. That's fact. And of course, that is why it's actually right that DABA Kids targets kids from the age of 4 through to 16. Now, Chris Annie, let's get inside DABA Kids a little bit more. Now, we're looking at a school for kids, if we put it that way. How do you, or who are your facilitators, and what teaching techniques do we apply to these kids?
Come again, please. I didn't get that well.
Okay, I'm trying to know who are the facilitators at DABA Kids and what teaching techniques is applied to the kids.
Okay, so I will not be able to unveil all the kind of facilitators we have now because we are still at pre-launch level.
Great.
But I can tell you we hired Dr. Salah Adetola. She's currently the commissioner. So she's currently senior special assistant to Lagos State Governor on education and STEAM education.
Great.
And yeah, she has a big pedigree. You can go check her on LinkedIn. She studied in the US. And she's helping us in developing both our curriculums and even the faculty. And we're promising, with what we've seen so far, I will not be able to unveil what we've had. But the teaching technique here is simple. We're going to use gamified system. Children love games.
Sure.
When your child, if your child is using your iPad and they're playing game and you remove it from their hand, what will they do? They'll fight you.
Yeah,
they'll scream. So why not? Do you think gaming is bad? Gaming is not bad. Gaming has a lot of advantage to children. So we're going to use what they love to teach them what they need to grow in life. So we're going to use gamified platform. We're also going to use avatars.
Great.
Okay, we don't want to show them the face. My face may be ugly to them. It's not my face that I'll be teaching kids. Kids will be learning from avatar. Why? So that they can concentrate more. Because my face may be boring to that child. The child may not even like my face. I don't like Uncle Chris, but they like Baby Shark. They like Tom and Jerry. Yeah. They like cartoons. So we're going to use cartoons, 3D animations, metaverse styles, okay, gaming. Okay. I recently played a game. Recently, I was doing mathematics, but it was a game. So they will give me points. So I just said, let me do it. It's even a kids application. I was testing it. I said, this will be interesting. So they'll do 5 points, 5 plus 5. They'll give me options. I'll click. They'll give me points in cartoon form. I was enjoying it. But I'm sure if you are giving me that same thing and say I should solve it, I'll say, God, remove this thing. I'll tell you to remove it. I don't need after all. 5 plus 1, I know it now 6. But imagine taking you 5 plus 1. They give you option 6, 10, 8. And when you do it, you get points. And the character is in cartoon. So when I click, I'm excited. So next thing, if I miss one, not like I don't know 2 minus 1. But sometimes because of the fastness, those things are increasing our IQ. Now, at the end of it, now because of humans, we want to be the best. We don't like failing. So guess what? I want to play the game again. Next time I want to win. So when I play with 20 points, they say this is, next day I play, I see 40 points. They say this is the highest. So next year I want to reach 100 points. That's the technique we're going to use to teach kids. Wow. They will have this curiosity to learn because there are gaming rewards. There are points. We are not going to do kids education the way it has been done before. We're not going to do first, second, third. Because see, I was coming out, the best result I had in school back then was third in secondary school. Okay, was third. I never came first. I never came second. But it doesn't mean that the third meant I was the third best in life. No. Yeah. Neither was it that the person who came first was the first best in life. Yeah. In short, there was a time I came 8th and I was happy. In short, I had parents who encouraged me. There was a time I came 12th in class out of 30, and my dad will encourage me. Out of 15th. So we're not going to give you position. We're going to give you rewards. Let's reward your effort. Let's reward your brain. Let's reward your creativity. Let's reward even your failure. Because see, schools have taught us to scold people when they fail. But when we come back in life, we now discover that failures are part of the lessons and things we must learn while we rise. True. Okay? So these are the things you are bringing in real life situation to DABA Kids. That child should not be scared because he failed. That child should be happy because he attempted. He should be rewarded for making an attempt.
Yeah.
If you notice, there are parents today who cannot invest. There are generations who cannot invest. Why? They are averse to investing. They are averse to risk taking. Why? Because they were judged while they were in school based on position. They were judged as failures, not knowing that it's part of life for you to try something and fail and come back again and make it. Okay? And take a risk. Let those children take that risk. So when we do, they see their gaming rewards. They want to try again. We will not reward children on position. We're not here to do the 30 best students. We're not here to do 30 best Forbes list. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We want to groom them, let them know what life really is. And that's what we're positioned for.
Great, great, interesting. Over time, talking to you on this session about DABA Kids, I could feel the passion you have for this project. And that passion actually also reflected in the comments or your reply to a recent tweet by the CEO of Binance when he tweeted about trying to get books on
Yes.
finance, yes, and economics for kids, but he couldn't get them because they were nowhere to be found. Let me quote your tweets, Chris. You said, hello, CZ. We are solving this, and that is why we are building DABA Kids to prepare kids and teenagers for generational wealth, greatness, and influence by feeding them with knowledge and skills about finance, leadership, arts, and technology. Of course, you've said a lot about this, but in straight bullet points, do you want to tell us how you want to help kids achieve these core things you mentioned: wealth, greatness, and influence?
We have 5 platforms on DABA Kids:
Great.
NFT Marketplace, Creators Center, the EdTech platform, and on and on and on. I'm not going to mention everything here in this interview. I'm good because I have a lot to unveil at
Yes.
the parents' class. So take this for instance: the creators economy. The creators economy is booming.
Very
And
much.
imagine, Emeka, I am sure that while you were growing up as a child, you did something like motor battery, where you put battery together to drive a
Yes.
motor. I'm
Yes.
sure you did something like a kite and you rode it up. I'm sure you probably tried to design a plane. What
Yes, we
happened?
did all
You
that as
went into
kids.
school and your judgment was on if you could pass physics or business administration.
Mm.
That gift, that skill died. And today you're a presenter. Nothing still bad with you, this, following this. But imagine we have a platform where kids are nurtured early like they do for them in China. When this kid, you know that this child may not be able to pass biology or English very well, but he can design an engineering architecture, he can design something. The Creator Center, for instance, will now bring those kids and will nurture them. So DABA Kids is a lifelong learning platform, it's a lifelong community.
Yes.
So we're saying that, see, this your child, we discover that this your child likes using battery and wire together. That means he has something to do in engineering. So we're going to nurture that child within that area and create a community where they can be hired, where they can network, where people, investors can come and meet them.
Mm.
Okay, while I was planning to get admission in school way back, I enrolled into one school like that. I was planning and I saw Manchester University, Manchester United, I think their university. I saw Manchester University, I saw University of Liverpool. And there was something striking in the syllabus, in the curriculum I saw. When they shared with me their, what do they call this thing that talks about the school, the courses they offer. And in one of the page, they shared with me where they were able to track the results of graduates who graduated 5 years ago,
Wow.
6 years ago, 3 years ago, where they are working. A certain percentage went for their masters. A certain percentage are doing their PhD. And that percentage have their company. And that percentage are working in this company. And another percentage are unemployed. That got me thinking. Imagine if our schools could track the progress. So imagine we're tracking the progress of every of our kids. So they are going to be in a network, because in this network they can have become co-founders, become investors. They could build things in the future together. I mentioned it earlier on.
I
So
agree with
these
you.
are the strategies. It's not just feeding them with knowledge, but also having platforms for nurturing their gifts and the community for showcasing them to the world.
Wow, interesting projects coming up. DABA Kids from Nigeria to Africa and, of course, to the world. That's an interesting way to get to teach children and expose them to skills for the future. We're still on this conversation, and I'm interested. Aside to just empowering kids, creating generational wealth for themselves and their families. Chris, listen to this question. Do you think Project DABA Kids will have any effect on the future economy of a country with kids having knowledge like this? What do you think?
If I get you well, you're asking if this will have an effect in the nation or their
Yes,
leadership. Which one?
yes, in the nation, in the
Why
country,
not?
in the economy of a country that breeds kids like
Why
this.
not? People, let me give you, I'm in UAE today.
Mm.
And before I came for this, UAE is one country I've studied so well. And you and I know that this is a land of prosperity.
Yes.
Dubai is the safest place on earth today.
Mm.
It's one place everyone wants to come and live in. I've met immigrants, I've met who are Americans, Europeans, Canadians who are relocated to live fully in Dubai. I've met people from Kazakhstan. I've met people from different parts of the world, and they've been here for 5 years, 6 years,
Yeah.
7 years, 10 years. The story of Dubai should show us the place of leadership. And one of the challenges we're having today, look at a particular school in Lekki, in Lagos, where they battle things like cultism at that age. And look at the moral effect, the damage it has done. See, let me tell you, if we raise a new crop of leaders who will be fearless, who have moral values, we will change our nation. You want to change a nation? It's not the infrastructures, it's the people.
It's the mind.
The Sheikh of Dubai was someone who was exposed in life by his own father. And his father used to take him to London. He said one of the things that helped him gain exposure were the travels his father did for him. Even the current prince of Dubai has gone to some class level places to study their culture, their schools, their business, their system.
Mm.
Your great nation expose these children early. Recently in Nigeria, there was something about some startups or so whose boss and co were creating toxic workplaces.
Yes.
And I didn't go out there to defend myself because my staff, you are one of them,
True.
and other staffs could go out and talk about how good our workplace environment is. Everything rises and falls on leadership. People are ready to work at DABA today because of the kind of leadership there. And it
Yeah.
starts with me as the leader. Why? I got trained early. I went to under mentorship at the age of 16, 17. I know that my late father raised us up. Okay, I don't want to sound religious here, but I know how how my late father would tell me things about the Bible, how we mastered English from the Bible, okay, how he learned things from how he was raised up. I
Mm.
was raised up in a moral family that was morally upright. And these things affected. It wasn't that I cannot join some bad gangs in school. It's not that I'm perfect. It wasn't that I couldn't do certain things. But there were certain ways I was raised that affected that has affected the way I live today. And there are things I cannot just imagine doing. Okay? And so everything rises and falls on leadership. And imagine taking the child early enough in life. And this things has helped me. So if I can be an example for the world, they can duplicate the same result via DABA Kids.
Mm.
And if we have children, if we have leaders who are raised properly, who have empathy, who have sympathy, who have kindness, who have the soft skills, and they are raised, we can build a great nation. See, we want to sustain our nation and know that what we built, if Dubai wants to have the same leadership more and more in the next 100 years, what should they do? They need to keep raising the kids who have that character, who have that skill to
Yeah.
pioneer and pivot that future. And I
Yeah.
think that DABA Kids is one solution that will affect economic, politically, family-wise. Everything starts in the family. If we raise these kids well, we will not need to worry about corruption and bad economy in the future.
Thank you very much, Chris Arnie, for responding to that particular question in this manner. Of course, in the course of this conversation, we've seen the need to improve our educational curriculum in a time like this, in a tech driven world. There's this popular song we always sang in schools after assemblies, marching into our classes, and the lyrics goes thus: Parents, listen to your children, because we are the leaders of tomorrow. If we start now to build
Yes.
those leaders for tomorrow, the truth is we are creating a better economy and, of course, a better nation. March 26, 2022, this Saturday will be the parents' meeting. That's the DABA Kids parents' meeting. And more of all this in better clarity will be revealed to parents who sign up. Are you a parent out there and you are not signed up yet and you want to be part of this meeting? It's absolutely free. Okay, so let's hear from Chris Arney himself. How do I sign up for this meeting on Saturday as a parent? Chris, we're listening.
Okay, so it's simple. Go to www.dabakids.com. If you even type dabakids.com, you go there straight. And we're also on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Okay, easy. So dabakids.com, sign up there free of charge. A link will be sent to you for the Saturday meeting.
Beautiful. Those easy steps to sign up, and it is totally free. Make yourself available this Saturday, the 26th of March 2022, and then set your kids up for an amazing future, preparing them for wealth, influence, and, of course, the greatness. Thank you, Chris Ernie, for coming on as the business leader of the week on DABA TV. On this session, we have really enjoyed and learned a lot from you. Thanks for coming, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and this is it on the business leader of the week. Do not forget to like, to share, and, of course, subscribe to the channel. Are you a parent and you're yet to decide if to take this action? For a start, visit www.dabakids.com, sign up, and get a link to be part of that meeting on Saturday. Again, it is free for now. Now, of course, you want to be part of what we are doing here on DABA Kids, or you want to take on a course or learn something new on the internet, do not forget there is www.daba.school, where you can learn amazing skills. There are a lot of skills you can learn visiting that platform. This is Emeka Eze, and you're still watching the Business Leader of the Week. And, of course, this is DABA TV. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying with us. See you on Saturday when we all join our hands together to build a future for our kids. DABAkids.com is the place for your kids. My name is Emeka Eze once again. See you next week.